Hello everyone, welcome to the Besiege bots building tutorials. Please take a look at the previous videos on this series if you haven't, because it can be a bit confusing if you don't. In this video I will be making a horizontal spinner, an angled horizontal spinner, which will probably be a lightweight. I'm guessing. Still not too sure what weight class I am aiming for exactly. So I'm gonna start with a pretty basic chassis here. Since it is a horizontal spinner, the chassis is not too important. Although you still need at least a decent chassis. I'll put some basic lugs here to extend my wheelbase at the back, so I can keep my wheels away from my spinner and have it so my wheels are what my wheelbase is slightly wider. Makes it better for turning as well. And if you make the front wide, you can also keep your bot from tipping side to side or forwards and backwards while you're driving around. Because angled horizontal spinners still have the gyroscopic effect. So I'll first just add some drive here. I'll add 2-stack drive, though single stack drive would probably be enough. I want to be a bit faster. I'll also be cambering my wheels. See if this is still 2-stack. That seems 2-stack. Speed it up, full friction on these, so I don't have to do them later. I'll also support these sticks of log with some steering hinges here. Probably just do them on one side and copy it to the other. That's why I have this center starting block there. It's very helpful for builds. And for the spinner mount, I'm gonna go full on basic with a simple large unpowered wheel. This is the most basic you can go, really. Okay, this is as far as high as possible I can put it, because I want my spinner to not hit my chassis. I'll angle it a bit, but I think I'll do that later actually, if I decide to make a disc or not. And let's make a grabber weapon, since that's the most simple. Since I am somewhat aiming for lightweights, the diameter limit is 13, so I will be working around that. You don't always have to go up to the diameter limit. Sometimes it is more optimal to not go to the diameter limit, but I will be making a disc, I guess. If you want to measure the diameter of your bar, you just put one block in there and put how many blocks until it is the limit of your weight class. So a lightweight is 13, so this would be correct. But something like a featherweight or a raptor weight would be 11, so this. But when you're measuring something like spin block bars, you just put these inwards by 0.5, and you have 8. That's how you measure your bars length. So I think I should be okay with putting another one there. Yeah, it seems to be in diameter still, so I'll put an extra one here for the this side as well, because I'll make my teeth just a single grabber poking out. And on how I make a disc is just by taking one of these grabbers, doing this to it, copying it to the other side, flipping it that way and this way as well, and then select both of them, lock them, and then start rotating them from the center bit. So this is 15 degrees, does it attach? It does. So we'll be using 15 degrees on each of the sides. Don't mind the beeping noise if you can hear that, that's just my caps lock. And then I just copy it and rotate it to the other side. Ooh, that looks a bit janky, doesn't it? I think if I can rotate this a bit more, it should be better. Yeah, I think I can do this for all of them. Slightly closer to being one whole disc. Seems good. So I'll also add a 3-stack motor on top. Spinner like this, you'll most likely be fine with wheel motors. You don't really need a invincible cog motor. Well, cogs aren't invincible, but still. I'll shorten the range between these. You don't have to do this, but it gives you just that tiny bit of extra torque, since shorter braces gives you more torque. Oh god. Control Z is a very helpful tool. I'll just lower them down, see if it works. Yeah. The spinner can spin now. Get some speed in there. This would probably not be able to self-ride. That's the only real issue here. It could probably be an undercutter when it's upside down though. Maybe. Probably not. Right, I'll get something in the front here so it doesn't just slide on the chassis, because the chassis has high friction. You can use either plows, these round metal plates, or I think I'm gonna, you can also use blades. I think I will be using wooden panels for this one. I'll also make them like little tiny wedges. Yeah, this seems good, although I want to raise them up a little bit. The drive seems okay. I'll wire up some basic tanks there. Oh, this needs to be the other side. It's also the drive system that I use normally. There are also other drive systems. If you want to know how to do the arrow key one, there is a whole video on drive systems. And now this is riding on the wooden panels. Before it wasn't, but it is still kind of, the chassis is still facing upwards. So I'm just gonna lower this down so hopefully it's flat. Yeah, it's good enough. Alright, I'm gonna lower this motor into the wheel down even further, because I do believe I can do that. To an extent, of course, because as you can see, if I go too low, it attaches to the grabber is attached to the motor. I'll wire these up to X and Z, toggle mode, I'll keep outer brake on. Lower the friction, go to minimum. You cannot use zero friction. But the other thing is you can also wire up the controls to whatever buttons you like. Oh, I think. Alright. These grabbers need a bit more space. I'll just range them out by, give them some extra room by 0.5 so it doesn't connect to the motors like that. Yeah, it should be pretty good most of the time now. Next up is angling down the weapon. It's 73 blocks, so it is a probably gonna be a middleweight, because I'm not gonna lower the weight it is. The diameter limit for lightweights and middleweights are also the same, so that's pretty nice. Seems low enough. Oh, that gyro! The power! Alright, I'm gonna add some extra braces and I'll probably add some downforce to the wheels. If you have angled something and you don't want to go it back, just select a part of the spinner assembly and you can just rotate through that. You can put it back as well. Yep. Seems pretty okay. The gyro, of course, is it's quite something. And to reduce that, I will be adding some downforce on these wheels over here. I hope this will be a pretty heavy hitting weapon. You can also put your flying blocks inside your lugs. I'll set these to control, and since this is facing upwards and it is pulling, I'll set it to reverse so it's pushing. I'll put it to toggle mode, and you can set these up to 2. Because if you copy a wheel value and paste it there, as you can see, it becomes the wheel value, even though with the slider you can only get to 1.25. So if I turn on my downforce, it should make me drive a little bit better. It's still not the best, of course. It's just a bit better. The extra blocks you do have, you can always just strengthen your bot. But what I'm gonna do is add extra drive power. So with middleweights, you can have a maximum of 4 flying blocks, 3 for downforce, 4 for if you're using them for drive. It's a total of 4 is what I'm saying. So I'll just add these, wire them up to the drive. There you go. And now I have drive flying blocks as well. I might want to put them a bit further back. The hitbox for the flying block is slightly smaller than a log, although it can still be taken off inside the log. It is a slightly better protection than being outside. And if you have them like close to another block that is also inside the log, then it'll just pop out. So you also have to make sure that that flying block has enough space for itself. And now it drives pretty well. It is just a very simple disc spinner. I do not think this thing can self-ride, which might be a problem. It can probably not drive upside down either. Let's test that. Yeah. You could probably use the extra blocks that you have for a self-ride, or you can also reduce the amount of blocks you use by doing this simple trick. Reducing that, and doing this. This makes it neater if you're reducing the amount of actual blocks that you use. You can also just shorten up the whole bot like that. But I'll just keep this as is, and I'll start painting. So painting your bot is actually important, because these logs can do janky things if you don't paint them. So let's think of a paint job. You can always paint your bot whatever color you would like. I think I'm gonna go for a... Let's go for a blue and orange. Let's go for a blue and orange. Go for this royal blue and this orange right here. Let's do this, yeah. Again, you can paint your bot any color you would like. Try to make it not look disgusting. I'll probably do a pretty bad job of coloring my bot here. But just make sure to paint your bot as well. If you are just testing your bot, you can just be lazy about it and paint the whole bot a single color. Some people do that when they're testing their bots. I also do it sometimes. And the colors they usually use are black or gray. And this is pretty much the bot done. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this helps you. And see you next time.